Hey guys, how's it going? It's Max AC Tutorials here, also known as Mackenzie, and today we're going to be building a to-do list. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this screen, this is the new project screen. If you guys get to the screen, open Xcode, go to File, New Project, and you should get a screen that looks exactly like this. Now, we're using a new version of Xcode, Xcode 8 Swift 3. Now, let's get started, guys. Now, for the to-do list, it's going to be a very simple app. I actually don't know what I'm doing. That sounds wrong, but guys are probably going to leave the video. But what I meant by that is I didn't code this beforehand. Now, I did that for a reason, just so we could do it together. And you can see how a coder is supposed to think. And it's not just me copying code. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to actually learn how to develop and think like a programmer. Now I'm gonna go to my storyboard, and let's see what we're gonna need. Now for a to-do list, typical to-do list, it's basically a table right here and probably like a button on top or something. So what I'm gonna do actually is gonna delete this table. I'm gonna delete this whole view right here. I'm gonna click here, boom. Now we have no view in our main storyboard. And right here in the filter, I'm actually going to type TableViewController. Now, we haven't played with this, guys, but what this basically is exactly a view controller, but this just has a table with it. And you could drop and drag a table in it, but it won't be full screen like this. I could have made it full screen. There's no point if I could just use a UI table view, which is basically right here. So once you have this dragged in, something really important you guys have to remember to do, because we deleted the other view, we lost a little arrow that tells the app, hey, this is the first screen that we have to load. So if you go here, you got to click this right here. Is initial view controller. Click this, I get the arrow back. Now Xcode in the app knows, hey, first launch, I need this window. This is the first one to open. So now that we have this, what are we going to do? Now, I actually want that bar on top. You know, the one usually has a app name. So if you click this right here, and I go to Editor, Embed, and I click NavigationController. Now what this does is also something new that we haven't played around with. But this basically controls the back button and all the navigation. You really don't have to code that. You just add this navigation controller and you're good to go. Now I have this beautiful top bar. I'm actually going to change the color of it. I'm not a fan of that gray style, and I'm going to go with this light blue color. And there we go. That's good to go. Now I'm just going to test the app. Just to get the simulator working. So I'm gonna go iPhone. I already have a simulator open. Let's see, that's iPhone 6. Let's just get that going. You guys don't have to do that. I just want to make sure simulator's loading and all that good stuff. Let's see. There we go. Awesome. I got the light blue background that I put on top. This is my table view. Not working, obviously. Let's add a button right here, like a plus button. So what we're going to click on the navigation controller, navigation item. And right here, we're going to type button. And we should get a bar button, which basically goes up here. Awesome. I'm actually going to rename this. Is there a custom add right there? Awesome. Exactly what I was thinking of. And now that we have that button, we need that button to go to another screen. Now, something else you guys are learning is how to basically go to another screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm dragging this view to the side, and I'm going to drag in a view controller, which is basically what we had before we started. So when you made a new project, you get a view controller. And I want, when I click this button, to go here. It's actually super easy, guys. You ready? All I have to do is click on this and drag to the screen and just click show. It's that simple, guys. And as you can see, automatically gets the navigation bar because the navigation controller handles everything. So if I was to run this app, just to show you guys real quick. If I click this, navigation comes, it goes to the other screen, and I get this the very sexy back button. So I click this, back to the original screen. Now that I got that working, let's see how we're gonna add the to-do. So I'm gonna keep it very simple, guys. I'm gonna put a text field right here. There we go. I'm gonna put a placeholder here that says to do goes here. Gonna center align it just because it looks awesome. And I'm gonna add a button. Now this button's gonna go right in the middle. Gonna click some, I'm gonna make it called submit to do. And why not? Let's change the color of it. So I'm gonna go white and change the background, make it match the app. And that looks awful, but you know what? It's fine. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Okay, so we got our to do. And actually, that's it for the view, actually. I don't think we need anything else. We're gonna submit this. So we're gonna put something here, submit, and if we go back, we should have something there. Now it's not gonna work now, obviously, because we have no code. But let's write some code, guys, and let's get it to work. Now the first code that we're gonna actually write is going to be the table. I'm gonna explain why, mostly because I'm gonna be using a variable that I'm gonna write here, and I can't do that. I can't use that variable if I don't code this screen first. So anywho, let's go here. First thing first, we need to change this to a UI TableViewController, and I'll explain why. And we could change the name. I'm just not going to. You need to do that because this is now a UI TableView controller. It's not a view controller. It's not a regular view controller. We deleted it before. We got to make sure we attach that controller to this view. We're good to go, guys. Now we're gonna make a variable. Now you're probably like, Mac, why are you making a variable under import? What the heck are you doing? Guys, I have my reasons. And that is because I'm making a global variable. Now a global variable is a variable that it doesn't matter where I use it, it will always be the same. So basically I can use that variable anywhere in my app. I don't have to, so if I put user ID, I can reference user ID in any view controller without even having it because it's globally shared. Now I'm gonna put var to do list items, and I'm gonna actually make this an array of strings, and we're good to go, guys. That is our variable, to do list items. Now I could continue coding this screen, but I'm not going to. That's all I wanted to do. Now we actually have to create a controller for this screen right here. It's very simple to do, guys. We're gonna click on any of these and we're gonna go to File, New. Let's go with just Swift class. I want an empty one. And I'm gonna call this Submit to Do Controller. Bam. There we go. I'm gonna delete foundation. Put UI kit class and super classes UI view controller. I'm gonna name this the same thing I named the file. There we go. and I'm gonna do my view did load. And now we have our basic file. Now, before we code anything, let's make our outlets. So wait, we gotta connect this view. So let's connect it, submit, awesome. And let's click. There we go. And it's going to be to do txt to do. And the button is going to be an action. So I'm going to put that right under the view did load. Action btn submit. And that's all we need. Let's go back to a single view, go to right here, and let's start coding our button. Now, what exactly do we want to do? What we want to do first, we want to get the value of the text field. Now, I don't have to store it in a variable, but I'm actually going to. So, that being said, the variable to do, it's going to be a string. And the value is td to do dot text and unwrap it. That is our to do. So whatever I put inside, that's it. That's actually a let because it's not changing. So let's make that a let. It could be a var. You won't get an error. I'm just making a let. I'm getting this thing right here, this warning, because I'm not using the variable anywhere. But we actually are going to use it somewhere. What we're going to do is to-do list items dot append to do. It's one simple line. Let's check what the problem is. Missing parameter. Oh, it's just loading it. So this right here, what it's going to do is I'm going to get the value of the text field and add it to the array. So basically an array is like a basket. I get the text field, throwing it inside the basket, and I'm storing it inside that. Isn't that awesome? So now that that actually works, nothing's gonna happen yet. And the reason nothing's gonna happen yet is because we're not doing anything inside our view controller. So let's actually do something inside our view controller. So it looks like it's empty, but it's actually not, because we're doing all the other magic on the other screen. But when we come back to this screen, what exactly do we want to do? Now, because this is a UI view controller, what I actually want to do is there's separate functions or methods, whatever you want to call them, that tables need. And one of them is number of sections. Now you got to put override in front of it because we're using a UI table view. And number of sections is actually just going to have one section. Now what it means by number of sections is tables can be separated by sections. This one, it's really not that complicated. We're just doing a simple one, so it only needs one section. Now another one is number of rows in a section. Now that's also very simple. It's just return to-do list dot how many items are inside that basket, basically. And the last one is the one that's a little bit more complicated. And the reason I'm saying this is because, and this one is the one that you actually have to, how can I say this? Like, you basically code one row. So let me open that's right here. You actually just write the code for this one row, and it just uses that one code to do all of them, basically. It's called self-for index. So there we go. So for index at There we go. That looks good. And I got to return something. Give me 1 second, guys. Guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But anyways, once we're here, self for row at, and what we have to do is get the reference of a row. So you guys will understand it once I type it. We're going to click let cell table view dot, and we're going to put this right here. Reusable cell. Now, you're probably saying, what's the identifier? What do we put here? So first off, let's put what we do know. For index path, we already have a variable here called index path. We just copy and paste that right in there. That's fine. Now it's going to be a string, so let's just put a string in there. But what do we put here? Now I'm going to show you guys actually. Let's go to the main storyboard. And if we go here, you see our table. You have a table, and you have a table view cell, which is this item right here. Now, if we click on our table view cell, it says custom, but I'm going to make it a basic one. This way we have a title. But that's not what I wanted to do in the first part. So we're going to do a table view cell. It says identifier. We got to give it a name. I'm going to give it cell. That's its name. And let's go back to our controller, and we're going to name this cell. This basically is finding that cell. Now, automatically when you click basic, it has basically adds a text field for you, I mean a label. Very simple. What we're going to do is cell, well, let's get the to do for that row. So to get a to do for that row, what we're going to do is var to do. Always get used to putting what kind of data type it is. And we're going to do to-do list. So we're going to look inside the basket, and we're going to look for the row that's, well, the item for the index path. There we go. That should work. And now that we have that, we want to do cell dot text label dot text equals to do. And that looks like it works. And we got to return the to do for last thing we do is return the to do. And I'm going to explain this part real quick before I run the app. Oh, we seem to have an error here. Cannot subscript a value of string with an index. Okay. So dot it's weird that it's, oh, right. Sorry about that, guys. But this basically shows how, you're going to make mistakes. So let me tell you what happened here. Index path actually has two variables, which is a section and the row. Now we have, so you can't really put index path there. You got to put a dot, and you got to put row. We got to do dot section. Oh, that. There we go. Dot row. Because if you put section, if you put index path, it's like its own data type, as you can tell right here. So that's not really a number. It can't look for index path. It needs to be index path dot row, which basically is the number of row, or the number, the item in here. And you're probably asking, how does it know to look inside this? Now it knows to look inside this because we told it how many items it has. So it has one section. This is how many items. That's how it gets the index. And then it goes here, gets the cell. We're getting one item at a time, putting it in the text field, and returning it, which is basically displaying it. Now we're going to run this app, hope for the best. Let's see what happens in our simulator. And we get an empty to do. Oh my god, that's not what I wanted. JK. Obviously we get an empty to do list because our array is empty. And let's say I click this to do one, submit it, go back, and let's look at the log real quick. Is there anything That looks wrong. Don't think so. Right. Now, a problem that could happen, and this happened right now basically, is that when the view first loaded, is basically it did all this magic. And when you go back, the view doesn't load again. So what you have to do actually is do view did appear. And I'm just going to add the super view did appear. There we go. And what you have to do actually, just delete that. What you have to do is reload the table. TableView.reload. And the reason you have to do that, guys, is because, like I said, this code isn't running twice. So now that it knows to reload the table, it should work. So to do one, submit. Holy smokes, it works. Now I'm going to explain that reload the table. I know you guys are probably confused. What is he talking about? So all this code runs as soon as the app loads. When I go to the other screen, when I go to this screen and then I go back, this code doesn't run again. The reason it doesn't run again is because view did load. The view doesn't load again. It just appears, aka view did appear. And a good way to test this is if you put a print statement here and you put a print statement here. This one will keep running when the view view appears. This one will only run once. So we need to reload the table because this list changed. Now it should work again if I do something like that, submit it, go back, refresh. Awesome, guys. It actually looks pretty nice. Professional app. You can put that on the App Store, make millions of dollars. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, like the video, and subscribe, guys. This is Max AC Tutorials, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys next time with another Swift tutorial. Have a good one, guys. See ya.